All of it.
The
moustache.
That's a spoiler, guys.
Edward Cullen trapped in Count Orlok's castle.
Thank you, that's very kind of you. I think I'm blushing a little bit now.
Congratulations on this movie. I mean, to call this a passion project for you, I feel like that doesn't even really cover it. Obviously, you saw the movie when you were so young, you directed it in your teens, and now almost a decade in the making, you're about to put your reimagining out into the world. So I guess my first question is, how are you feeling right now?
Tired, but no, it's very humbling and very exciting, and I'm eager to see how audiences receive it.
As much as this is a horror movie, it's also a romance. There's a lovely relationship between you two, and it's lovely to see the kind of love that you've built together. What was it like building that, and what was your favourite thing about the others' performance in this?
Oh, I mean, Nick is a lovely person, of course, but also just like such an incredibly talented actor, and just I felt very, very lucky to have him as my scene partner and my co-star in this, because, you know, like you said, it's these are very emotionally, physically demanding performances, and so I think, you know, you can only hope to have somebody there with you that is present in the moment with you, that's supportive, and that's like, you know, giving you all of that energy in those moments. And of course, and you know, these are like, a lot of these takes are like one shot and everything, so it's like all hands on deck, we're doing this together, and I just couldn't have asked for a better scene partner than Nick, who's, you know, not only so talented, but just, yeah, so wonderfully present, and I was just very grateful to have you there with me.
Thanks.
And you're welcome. And my favorite thing about Nick's performance is that it's just like, he brings so much humanity to the role. He brings so much heart, and you just feel for this guy so much, honestly. Like, you really broke my heart, honestly, in the movie, because I was like this guy wants to do things right so badly, and he just wants to, like,
He just can't.
He just can't. He's just
Can't
so,
catch a
but
break.
it's like he's just missing the mark on like making everything right, and he just wants to provide a nice life for his wife that he really does love, and he just wants to understand her, and he wants to be there for her, and he, you know, and then at the end he wants to save her, and he wants to do everything right, but he just can't. And, you know, I just feel like I really felt your, like, heart in that performance.
Thanks.
You just really feel for him, and yeah, you did a beautiful job.
That was very good. Thank you. That's very kind of you. I think I'm blushing a little bit now. The thing I love most about Lily's performance is how dynamic it is. It's something that I really enjoy in people's performances when I watch them, when they can switch and turn so quickly, and it really makes me as unexpected as an audience member. So watching the film now, I can appreciate, like, the depth of emotion and the physicality that she brought to each moment, but how within single shots, the journey that she was able to navigate honestly, emotionally throughout all of that, and deliver such a stunning performance. And that it's undeniable to me, and one of the best performances I've got to witness up close, but also I think on film. So that was all very special. And also then, you know, she cares so deeply and is kind on set, and it was a film where we all had to really band together, and you're, like, completely unselfish in that with everyone around. I think you just bring a lightness and inspiration to everyone. So yeah, all good things.
It is like a dream. It was our wedding.
Ellen is a lover girl, and I love that she gives Thomas a little locket with her hair in.
Yeah.
Is there anything that people did back then, like a romantic gesture, that you're like, we need to bring that back? I want to see more of that.
Back then.
I think that's cute, honestly. I have a locket
Little
with my
token.
boyfriend's hair in it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Kind of like in the movie. Yeah, I
You
think
kept the locket, right? You have.
I have the locket, yeah. I have the locket, which is very special.
Does it have fake hair in it?
It has Ellen's hair in it, yeah.
Does it?
Which is real, of course.
Real hair.
Not mine, but real. Yeah, I like lockets. I think they're very romantic. Something not as fun is the piece of wood that you put in the corset. They, like, in the corsets, there's like a little kind of like slot here where you put like a piece of, there's a name for it, but I'm forgetting. Linda, our costume designer, would know, but you like put it in and it kind of like maintains the structure of the corset. And it was a tradition for your loved one, your spouse or whatever, to write like a little message, like carve it into the wood, which is sweet, but it's also kind of like horrible because corsets are so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Had I known, I would have carved a little message in there from Thomas.
I got nothing. Too late.
Sorry, this is so uncomfy.
But you have to wear it.
Yeah.
And if you could see your Count Orlok meet any vampire in cinematic history, who would you love to see him meet?
Meat?
Yeah.
Like meat for what?
They can hang out.
A coffee date.
Yeah, catch up.
Go bowling.
Yeah.
Edward Cullen.
Same. Please.
Yes. Yeah.
That would be
Edward Cullen
incredible.
trapped in Count Orlok's castle.
I need it. I'm here for it, please.
I would like to see Bill's Orlok maybe do an escape room with Edward Cullen.
I'd like to see him meet the Big Lebowski.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yes. Okay. Two very different scenarios.
Really good, yeah.
I'm here for both
They'd
of
be
them.
fine.
Yeah. They'd get on just house on fire.
I actually think Bill's Orlok had a great sense of humour back in the day.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
when he was less dead.
I don't know, guys.
You don't
I
know?
think that's wishful thinking.
Wishful thinking?
I think he was
I think he was a piece of
Orlok
work.
from the get-go.
if you could see Bill's Count Orlok enter any cinematic world that you yourselves have been in, what is one you would love to see him come in and cause havoc in?
Oh my God. That's a great question.
I can't remember any film I've been in.
Me neither.
I'm like, where would I send him?
I feel like he could cause some havoc in The Idol in LA. Like, I feel like I can see him doing
I
that.
mean, yeah, there were definitely a bunch of characters in
Yeah.
that world. Yeah, why not? Let's send him there. Hollywood's, full of characters. Let's see how he fares
I
over there.
suppose.
Yeah.
I'd maybe say, I don't know if this fully makes sense, but I'm thinking of like the apocalyptic like Mad Max world. Because then you have like
That'd be
you have like the
amazing.
Immortan and you have like the Bullet Farmer and the People Eater and all that, and then you could have him in his kind of town that he sets up and his kind of fiefdom, I suppose. Yeah,
I feel like he'd fit right in there.
he probably would.
Yeah, he'd probably love it.
And there's blood bags in that. He loves blood.
He loves blood. He'd be having time of his life.
Yeah.
He'll love that.
You've had these spells since childhood. Tell me what you can from the beginning.
And I love Willem's character in this because he's the character that really comes in and he sees Ellen and he makes her believe that she is good and she can do good. And I wondered for you guys in your careers as an actor, as a director, who was the person that came in and first saw you and made you feel good and capable?
Oh, I really like that question. It's really nice.
Oh, that's a very good question. I mean, in many ways, my mom, had a kids theater company, and my dad was a Shakespeare professor. So on a different scale, I grew up in it similarly to Bill. But of course, you mentioned I directed Nosferatu as a play when I was a teenager, and it was like a humble high school production. But the artistic director of a local theater named Edward Langlois saw that and invited me to do it at his theater in a more professional setting. And it did change my life, and it cemented the fact that I wanted to be a director, and also, it has made Nosferatu a massive part of kind of who I am.
My friend Rebecca Zlotowski, who's a French filmmaker who's incredible, cast me in my first movie that I auditioned for, because I made a movie when I was like 15, but it was kind of a family affair with my best friend, my childhood best friend. Her father directed it. He's a great director, and he kind of wrote it with us in mind. And then the first movie that I auditioned for after that was Rebecca's movie, and so it felt very like earned in a way. And I was like 15 and really just like starting out, and I feel like she really kind of like saw something in me, I guess, and really like championed me, and she's still one of my best friends to this day. So definitely her. I love her so much.
I would say my parents, and I would say my dad, and he really instilled in all of us sort of this to just trust your own instincts, and if you do anything, you do it all the way. So if you decide to do it, you should commit yourself 100% to whatever it is. But also please do whatever you want to do. Like there was never any sort of him encouraging us to pursue acting per se. I think he's quite surprised that this is the way it ended up, but it was that kind of self-belief, or just encouraging you to trust your own instincts, and for me that is even when I was I've been acting ever since I was a kid, but I started finding that like, okay, well, I have a voice and I have a perspective, and that is what is uniquely mine, and if I pursue that something will come out of it that's genuine.
Yeah.
And I still try to live by that.
I got kind of a good experience with this recently where I did a film called About a Boy with Toni Collette when I was 11, and she played my mum in that, and then we just did a movie together called Juror Number 2, and so that was like a really lovely reunion because she was so, I mean, she set such a great example, but also took really great care of me when I was a kid, and then, you know, now I'm an adult, but we were working together again and doing these scenes, and it was like this lovely, she brings like such light and joy wherever she goes, but we had that connection from kind of a lifetime ago, which was really beautiful. So that's the nice thing about this kind of job, is you kind of...
It's a full circle moment that you get to have. That's so lovely.
We are here encountering the vampire. Nosferatu.
Obviously, you're no stranger to these kind of like villainous transformations, but I feel like this is the first proper scary vampire we've had in quite a while. So how did the use of kind of prosthetics and costume in this, because it's so detailed, help you find your own inner Nosferatu?
Well, so much so, you know, when you work with a character like this, you're, you know, everywhere from like when I was reading for it and the camera test that we did where I would have like, I put on like fake nails and slicked back my hair and like went to a wardrobe office and shared pictures with Robert of like what I should wear for the taping, and but it's abstract, you know, so you're working on these ideas but there's a huge piece of the puzzle that's missing, and that's the prosthetics and the wardrobe and the setting and everything. So the character, for me, didn't feel like he came alive until our second camera test that we did with the full prosthetics, with the candlelit lighting, and the camera rolling. And then I felt him, you know, he became fully activated. Yeah. And at that point, you know, all of the countless of hours of rehearsing and prepping and researching went away, and he was just allowed to be, you know, and that's the ultimate goal. And sometimes, like, you're hoping and striving for that to happen, and then when it does, you can go, oh, okay, I am activated, you know, through him.
He's here.
He's here. He's here.
I'm in the room with him. Love to know your reaction to Bill's Count Orlok.
I thought it was fantastic, you know, between the two of them, how they came up with this look. It's really new, but it also honors the past. So it's quite good. And it speaks so much about Robert rooting stuff in the past, in folkloric stuff, because he really asked himself, you know, what would a Romanian nobleman look like that had been dead for many years? Yeah. And that was the very concrete impulse towards designing the character. And then Bill, of course, really inhabited in a beautiful way.
Yeah, right down to the moustache as well, like all of it.
The moustache.
That's a spoiler, guys, but the mustache, no, really, that's the first thing that I thought, cool, he's got a mustache. Cool. But then Robert also reminded me that Dracula had a mustache.
Oh.
Yeah, it is
in
true,
the novel.
actually,
Yeah.
The physicality, it's incredible. And I'd love to know, was any of that like kind of cathartic for you, letting out that? Or was any of it quite daunting because it required so much from you?
Yes and yes, kind of both, because, yeah, I think there's something, you know, really cathartic about, like, you know, with no pun intended, kind of like releasing your demons in a way. Yes, but also, you know, daunting because it is very physically demanding. It's quite tiring also, that kind of work. And, you know, not only does it have to be right, but it has to be sustainable because, you know, like we were saying, like a lot of these are one shot. It's, you know, the camera is moving in a very precise way and you have to kind of like find your way with it. And so it has to be sustainable. You have to be able to do it, you know, as many times as it takes. And so I think finding the groundedness in the physical moments to be able to do it again and again, but to make sure that it was like truthful every time was a challenge, but a welcome one. I was very excited to explore that, and yeah, definitely cathartic. I've never screamed like that before, actually. Like, I remember when I did my first like big scream, I think it was that like one in the beginning. And I was like, I really don't know how to scream like this. I'm just gonna like scream as loud as I can. And I screamed really loud. So I was like, I guess I can do that.
Let it out, let it all out.
Yeah.
Honestly.
They do like scream therapy, right? Or something.
Is it?
I think so.
I've never heard of that. It should be. It feels great, honestly.
I feel like I need to sign up for that immediately. And I want to talk about the rats. because you both got a lot of scenes with a lot of rats. I've heard some horror stories. Can you ever look at another rat for as long as you live? What was the worst?
It was intense. The rats were intense, but I do think they're misjudged creatures. They weren't, you know.
I like
It's
animals.
not their fault.
I like
I
animals
like
too.
animals, and rats really aren't bad.
It was an exciting day on set, and it's one of those things when you think this is really freaky, and I don't know when else I would get this like kind of experience. Yeah.
When else are you going to be surrounded by thousands and thousands of
Exactly,
rats?
yeah.
They were all very professional. They showed up one time.
They did.
They didn't ask for little trailers or anything.
Great work ethic.
Yeah.
We should be inspired by the
should.
rats.
Yes, we should all work like rats.
And obviously the movie's coming out over Christmas, and there's a Christmas tree in this. I'm saying it's a Christmas movie. If you could pair it with another movie in a double billing, what would you pick?
A Christmas movie specifically?
It can be anything, but you know, it's still Christmassy.
Well, I think Shadow of a Vampire is kind of a fun double billing.
That is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, you probably have better ones.
I would pick something ultra nerdy, or maybe Home Alone would be another interesting pairing.
I feel like that'll like cleanse the palate.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I really love the sort of the double feature thing, because like sometimes you can go two movies that are very much in theme, or you go complete opposites.
Yeah.
But it's nice. It's nice because also I think it's maybe not as counter programming here, because there is the tradition of like ghost stories for Christmas, which is something that we don't have in America.
Yeah.